$1. That's what his $23,000 timeshare is worth today. It's listed on eBay right now, and nobody will take it. His name is Mike. He didn't buy a bad vacation. He bought a contract, a fee that never stops, a price that vanished the second he signed, and a clause he never read. It doesn't end when he does. It passes to his kids. 9.9 million American households signed the same paper. So we're going to climb Mike's bill, floor by floor. Year 1, Year 10, Year 20. The number at the top is the one the salesman never showed him. The week ends. The bill doesn't. On paper, it sounds smart. You love that resort. You go every year. So instead of renting a hotel room at next year's price, you buy your week forever at today's price. Lock it in. Beat inflation. That's the pitch. And it works. The room is real. The beach is real. The presentation? 90 minutes, they promise. It runs 6 hours. A free gift at the door. A countdown on the offer. A closer who won't let the silence sit. By the time Mike signs, he believes he made an investment. He didn't. The Federal Trade Commission says it plainly. The value of a timeshare is in using it, not in owning it. It is not an investment. And the first proof shows up before Mike even gets home. The week ends. The bill doesn't. Floor 1. Mike thinks he bought real estate. He didn't. In most contracts today, he bought a right to use. A membership dressed up like a deed. And of the $23,000 he paid, more than half never went into the property at all. The accounting is public. Around 50% of the price is sales and marketing. Another 20% is building and packaging the product. So before the developer even collects the cash, roughly 70 cents of every dollar is already spent on the pitch that sold it to him. That's why resale collapses the instant he signs. Not over years, instantly. Buy from the developer today, and tomorrow it's worth 50 to 70% less. Because a resale buyer pays none of the marketing Mike just funded. That's the dollar on eBay. That number hits the floor while he's still driving home. The week ends. The bill doesn't. Floor 2. And this one is engineered to grow. Every year, Mike owes a maintenance fee. In 2024, the average was $1,480, up from $1,260 the year before. A 17.5% jump in 1 year. Zoom out. In 2020, it was about $1,090. 4 years later, $1,480, up more than a third. And here's what the business actually is. Maintenance fees now make up around 83% of a resort's operating revenue. The room isn't the product. The fee is the product. Run it forward. Start at $1,480. Grow it 5% a year. The pace attorneys general have flagged for a decade. And over 20 years, Mike pays roughly $49,000 in maintenance alone, on top of the purchase. And if a hurricane hits, a special assessment can land with no warning. Sometimes $10,000, due now. He can skip the trip. He cannot skip the bill. The week ends. The bill doesn't. Floor 3. Because Mike, like more than 90% of buyers, didn't pay cash, he financed it right there in the room through the developer. A home mortgage runs 6, maybe 8%. Developer financing on a timeshare runs 12 to 20. For some buyers, higher. Put $23,000 on a 15% loan over 10 years, and the payment is about $375 a month. By the end, he's paid around $45,000. $22,000 of it pure interest. He nearly paid for it twice. And this is the quiet part. For the big developers, the loan is where the real money is. They sell Mike a week, then bundle his debt and sell it again to investors. The room was the bait. The financing was the catch. The week ends. The bill doesn't. So Mike does the math. He wants out. This is the top of the staircase, and there's no door. The resale market is flooded. Too many owners, almost no buyers. In the FTC's own words, the market is so overcrowded it may be impossible to sell. That's why the listings say $1. Free, even. Just take over the fees. And into that desperation walks a second industry. Someone calls. We have a buyer. We can get you out. Just pay the fee up front. Mike already lost money. Now he's a target. In one sweep, the FTC and its partners brought 191 actions across 28 states and 10 countries. Over $18 million taken from people whose only goal was to escape. The agency's rule is 4 words. Never pay for a promise. Getting in took an afternoon. Getting out can take years. The week ends. The bill doesn't. Now go back to the top floor. The number the salesman skipped. Add it up. The purchase, financed, about $45,000. 20 years of rising fees, about $49,000. $94,000. For 1 week a year, at one resort, for something that resells for $1. But 20 years isn't the end. Read the deed. Most contracts run in perpetuity, binding in the exact legal language, heirs, successors, and assigns. It doesn't stop when Mike stops vacationing. It doesn't stop when Mike dies. It lands on his children. An inheritance nobody asked for. A bill, not a beach. There is a narrow way out, if you know it. Most states give you 3 to 15 days to cancel after signing, the rescission window. And an heir can file a disclaimer of interest to refuse the whole thing. But those are exits from a trap. The honest version was always simpler. A timeshare is not an asset. It's a vacation you finance forever. The week ends. The bill doesn't. Mike's kids are about to find out how long forever really is.